They're back. The grasshoppers have hatched, and they're still really small, and I don't know if you can even see them. But there's quite a few, and we're going to be going full on attack this year. So stay tuned and watch what we're going to do. So this is what I'm doing to protect my garden while I'm waiting for everything else to work. So I am not about to let those grasshoppers get the best of me this year. They made me mad last year. So at the end of all of that last year, after I had fought them and was finally giving up, I went to the fabric store, and we have a large, it's called Mill-In Fabrics, and they have huge selection. It's not a fancy store. But I went there and I found some of this nylon netting. You know, the stuff they used to make the crinolines and the big things for skirts. Yep, that stuff. And it's inexpensive. I think I paid a little less than $1 a yard. And I bought, this whole bolt was about 33 yards. So I am spreading this as far as I can get it, and I may go get more, over all my plants. In my containers, in my main garden area, and my tomatoes and peppers. I'm gonna maybe be able to put it over my grapevines, over there. Trees I can't, but that I will definitely be doing other things around there. But this netting, it's not like tulle, it's not that small, but it's still pretty fine. Air, light, and water can get through this. But it's too small for the grasshoppers. So I covered this garden area yesterday. And although I see a few hopping around here and there, they're going to have a hard time getting into my plants. I've just laid it over them and weighted it down with rocks. And they may get in a few gaps, but usually they hop. So they're going to land on top of it, not necessarily crawl under it. So we're going to see how this works. I know it looks pretty weird, but if it saves me from the grasshoppers, I'm happy. So here's some of the things that I'm trying to protect this year. These peaches are just getting started and looking beautiful. Last year they wiped them out totally. All of my kale and spinach chard, cabbage, broccoli, even this Greek oregano were attacked and damaged last year, or destroyed, mostly destroyed. And these cabbage are just starting to look beautiful, aren't they? All of my peas are covered, my asparagus, more chard, green beans, radishes. And this is where I put some of the bait that I'm going to tell you about. And it needs to be mostly in the shade and protected from water. Well, the grasshoppers are back. I have been out all afternoon trying to do what I can to prevent damage before they get too bad. So, as I showed, I have spread netting, which is basically, it's not tulle. It's like netting, like crinolines used to be made out of. I don't know what it's called, but you can get it really inexpensive at our discount fabric store. So I bought tons of it last year while this was all still fresh in my head from all the damage. I think I bought 33 yards, everything that was on that bolt. And I think it was about $1 a yard, so not bad if it covers a good part of my garden. So I put down that, I'm not finished, but I got a lot covered. And Brian went in town and bought the bait. And I had heard about this last year, but you couldn't buy it. The only place that sells this is a company out of Colorado, and their factory burned down last year. So they weren't making any. It's not shelf stable. This will only last about 13 weeks under ideal conditions, which is about 42 degrees and dry. So you don't want to buy a lot and stock up because it won't keep. And you have to find somebody that carries it. I tried ordering it from them directly because I couldn't find somebody here locally. I could never get a call back. So I would go to their website, try and find in your state and see if there's somebody. And if not, go to a nursery and ask them to order it, which this nursery finally did and just literally got it in today. I went yesterday. He didn't have it. He says, but it's coming tomorrow. And Brian literally stood there and waited while they unloaded the pallet so that he could buy it for me. So it's called Nolo bait, and it's by a company called M&R Durango out of Bayfield, Colorado. Basically, it's wheat bran that has been inoculated with spores, and these spores are specific to cause disease in grasshoppers, some crickets, and Mormon crickets, which to me is perfect because we have those. We haven't seen the Mormon crickets lately, but I'm thankful because they're horrible. They're like that big. But it's specific to them and it won't hurt plants. It's organic, certified. It won't harm your animals. It doesn't harm anything else. It only harms grasshoppers, crickets, and Mormon crickets. Now, it's not a quick fix. This apparently can take anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks after they start ingesting it. And that's okay because as they build it up in their system, it's like a disease. And other crickets and grasshoppers will eat them. Any eggs that they lay will have this spore in it. And so it will help you reduce the population this year gradually, but it will also reduce it in the future. So we're going to give this a shot because I don't want to go through this again. So I'm covering things with netting. I'm baiting with this. And I'm also going to spray some of the heavily grassy, weedy areas but that's where they're mostly at right now. They haven't moved completely into the garden yet. So I want to stop them before they get there. And whatever I kill with the insecticide, that's great. But I really want them to eat this. I want this to work on them next year. So I just thought I'd share this with you. If you ever have these kind of problems, be on the lookout for this. And again, I had to search, and it's not a quick fix. So thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll talk again soon.